Hello everyone. Welcome back to another video of Questival. Today we are going to discuss about 13 interesting facts about Babri Masjid. Before we start, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for more videos. Babri Masjid was a mosque in Ayodhya, India, at a site believed by many Hindus to be the birthplace of Hindu deity Rama. It has been a focus of dispute between the Hindu and Muslim communities since the 18th century. The name Babri Masjid comes from the name of the Mughal Emperor Babur, who is said to have ordered its construction. Before the 1940s, it was called Masjid-e-Janmastan, Mosque of the Birthplace, including in official documents. The rulers of the Delhi Sultanate and their successors, the Mughals, were great patrons of art and architecture and constructed many fine tombs, mosques and madrasas. Thus, regional or provincial styles of mosques grew out of local temple or domestic styles, which were conditioned in their turn by climate, terrain, materials, hence the enormous difference between the mosques of Bengal, Kashmir and Gujarat. The Babri Mosque followed the architectural school of Jaunpur Sultanate. When viewed from the west side, it resembled the Atal Masjid in Jaunpur. The architecture of the mosque is completely a replica of the mosques in the Delhi Sultanate. Babri was an important mosque of a distinct style, preserved mainly in architecture, developed after the Delhi Sultanate was established. A whisper from the Babri Masjid Mehrab could be heard clearly at the other end, 200 feet away, and through the length and breadth of the central court, according to Graham Pickford, architect to Lord William Bentinck. The mosque's acoustics were mentioned by him in his book, Historic Structures of Oud, where he says, for a 16th century building, the deployment and projection of voice from the pulpit is considerably advanced. The unique deployment of sound in this structure will astonish the visitor. The Babri Mosque's Tobakwid style integrated other design components and techniques, such as air cooling systems, disguised as Islamic architectural elements, like arches, vaults and domes. In the Babri Masjid, a passive environmental control system comprised the high ceiling, domes, and 6 large grille windows. The system helped keep the interior cool by allowing natural ventilation as well as daylight. The date of construction of the Babri Masjid is uncertain. The inscriptions on the Babri Masjid premises found in the 20th century state that the mosque was built in 1528-29 by Mir Baqi, in accordance with the wishes of Babur. However, these inscriptions appear to be of a more recent vintage. There are no records of the mosque from this period. The Baburnama, Chronicles of Babur, does not mention either the mosque or the destruction of a temple. The Ramcharitamanas of Tulsi Das and An-e-Akbari of Abul Fazl ibn Mubarak made no mention of a mosque either. William Finch, the English traveller, who visited Ayodhya around 1611, wrote about the ruins of the Ranikhand castle and houses, where Hindus believe the great god took flesh upon him to see the tamasha of the world. The earliest record of a mosque at the site, traditionally believed by Hindus to be the birthplace of Rama, comes from Jai Singh II, or Sawai Jai Singh, a Rajput noble in the Mughal court, who purchased land and established a Jai Singhpura in the area surrounding the mosque in 1717. The documents of Jai Singh, preserved in the Kapad Dwar collection in the City Palace Museum of Jaipur, include a sketch map of the Babri Masjid site. The map shows an open courtyard and a built structure with 3 temple spires resembling today's Babri Masjid, with 3 domes. Francis Buchanan Hamilton did a survey of the Gorakhpur division in 1813-14 on behalf of the British East India Company. His report was never published but partly reused by Montgomery Martin later. Kishore Koul examined the original report in the British Library archives. It states that the Hindus generally attributed destruction to the furious zeal of Aurangzeb. However, it said that the mosque at Ayodhya was ascertained to have been built by Babur by an inscription on its walls. According to an early 20th century text by Maulvi Abdul Ghaffar and the surrounding historical sources examined by historian Harsh Narain, the young Babur came from Kabul to Ayodhya in disguise, dressed as a Qalandar, probably as part of a fact-finding mission. Here he met the Sufi saints Shah Jalal and Sayyid Musa Ashokan and took a pledge in return for their blessings for conquering Hindustan. The pledge is not spelled out in the 1981 edition of Gaffar's book. Lala Sita Ram, who had access to the older edition, in 1932 wrote, the Fakirs answered that they would bless him if he promised to build a mosque after demolishing the Janmastan temple. Babur accepted the Fakirs' offer and returned to his homeland. In April 1984, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad initiated a campaign to gather public support for Hindu access to the Babri Masjid and other structures that had been allegedly built over Hindu shrines. To raise public awareness, VHP planned nationwide Rath yatras, the first of which took place in September-October 1984, from Sitamahi to Ayodhya. The campaign was temporarily suspended after assassination of Indira Gandhi, but revived in from 25 places on 23 October 1985. On 25 January 1986, a 28-year-old local lawyer Umesh Chandra Pandey appealed to a court to remove the restrictions on Hindu worship in the Babri Masjid premises. Subsequently, the Rajiv Gandhi government ordered the locks on the Babri Masjid gates to be removed. Earlier, the only Hindu ceremony permitted at the site was a Hindu priest performing an annual puja. After the ruling, all Hindus were given access to the site, and the mosque gained some function as a Hindu temple. Communal riots between Hindus and Muslims occurred across India immediately following demolition of the mosque. Rioting in the immediate aftermath resulted in the deaths of an estimated 2,000 people. 6 weeks of riots further erupted in Bombay, resulting in the deaths of an estimated 900 people. Jihadist outfits like Indian Mujahideen and Lashkar-e-Taiba have cited the demolition of Babri Masjid as justification for attacks directed against India. Gangster Dawood Ibrahim, wanted in India for his alleged ties to the 1993 Bombay bombings which killed 257 people, is believed to have been infuriated by the Babri Masjid's demolition. Riots in the aftermath of Babri Masjid's demolition extended to Bangladesh, where hundreds of shops, homes and temples of Hindus were destroyed. Widespread retaliatory attacks against scores of Hindu and Jain temples also took place across neighboring Pakistan, with police not intervening. Reprisal attacks against Hindus in both countries, in turn, entered the discourse of right-wing Hindu nationalists. For example, in 1995, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad appealed to the United Nations to protect Hindus in Bangladesh and Pakistan and Kashmir. The impact of Babri Masjid's demolition and its repercussions negatively affects relations between India and Pakistan until the present day. The Liberhan Commission set up by the government to investigate the demolition later blamed 68 people including senior BJP, RSS and VHP leaders for the demolition. Among those criticised in the report were Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the party's chief LK Advani, and Chief Minister Kalyan Singh. A 2005 book by the former Intelligence Bureau Joint Director Maloy Krishna Dhar claimed the senior leaders of RSS, BJP, VHP and Bajrang Dal had planned the demolition 10 months in advance. He also suggested that the Indian National Congress leaders, including Prime Minister P V Narasimha Rao and Home Minister S B Chavan, had ignored warnings about the demolition for deriving political benefits. That's it for today. Please share your opinion on the comment section and hit the like button if you liked this video. Check the description box for other videos of Questival.